Okay, so how do I track my soulmate? That's a question I often hear spoken about or see things about on YouTube and elsewhere. Now, that's a very good question, and my answer to that would be, well, do you know there is actually a singular rather than a plural here? I recently read a book called Life Between Lives by Michael Newton, and he talks about spiritual groups. So his idea is that we have groups of people, or not people, but obviously spiritual beings on the other side that we connect with after we die and between lives. And based on that, we don't really have one person or one being that we're really connected with, but there would be maybe one person in this life that would be right for you. So that's a thing that you could focus on. But of course, I've found that with romance particularly, it's very, very subject to the law of attraction, very subject to the law of attraction. And the problem is, most people out there that aren't spiritual are focusing on the physical universe 99% of the time. Now, if you're spiritual people, you're focusing on the physical universe 98% of the time. And it's just unavoidable living in a physical universe to focus on the law of attraction all the time. This is my experience anyway, and obviously it varies from person to person. But one thing I've found really helpful is every time one of these so-called coincidences happens in our lives, why not write it down in a little notebook? Why not have a special notebook just for the law of attraction? Like, it happens all the time for me, but the problem is that I don't make note of it, and then I forget it. I mean, it's something that may have happened when I would have gone a month ago. I might have gone, wow, that's a great example of the law of attraction, isn't it, to myself? And then, you've forgotten it. So the thing is, if you write these things down, you build up your gradual certainty of how this really works and how our thoughts really do affect and really create things. Because we've all heard these things, we've read the books about it, and we're going, yeah, we agree with all that, but we tend to sort of just default back into the physical universe agreement, and we just keep on agreeing with the physical universe all the time. So a way to get around that, as I say, is to have a notebook, and every time it happens, then you write down all the details. Like I said, one great example the other day is someone told me about someone who lives in a particular town, and this is a really small town, and I hadn't thought about this town for ages. And then the very next sitcom video I watch on YouTube, the train pulls up at this station and it's exactly the same town, right? Now, I mean, materialists would say, oh, well, that's just a coincidence, right? But of course, they always say that. But the point is, I'd agree with you if it just happened once. But the thing is, this sort of thing happens a lot. And you don't know that unless you write it down and keep a record of it. And then you build up your confidence of this stuff happening. And then you can have more confidence of the fact that if you're focusing on your ideal partner and the sort of things you'll do together and planning all those things and focusing on being with them and all those sorts of things, which is what you need to do to attract that person, and not focus on, oh, I think I'll never find them, or it's so difficult, isn't it, and all these sorts of negative thoughts that come in our heads. So that's my tip, and I hope that works for you. I'd like to know your comments and your opinion about my opinion. It'd be good to know. Okay, have a good day.